Alright guys, welcome back to my channel, and thank you in advance for putting up with terrible audio. So y'all got me to invest in a microphone. I shouldn't say y'all. I decided to invest in a microphone, and as I put Mal up on the stand and cranked away and got things set up, I managed to knock over the tripod, knock over the phone, and break the receiver for the microphone. So I no longer have a microphone, at least until I can replace it, which is a bit frustrating. But hopefully this will be the only video that you have to tolerate me sort of hollering across the room. I did test it. I think you can hear me clearly, but you're probably going to pick up a lot more background noise, and for that I apologize. So I'll try and make this one quick. Up on the stand today, we have Racing for Home Maleficent. Maleficent is named after the Wicked Queen from Sleeping Beauty. She is an absolutely stunning doe, and what you're seeing on her right now is what I call her channeling of her inner sheep. So on the side that you can see, it's the same on this side, trust me. She's got a bunch of her undercoat, her cashmere, showing through her coat. That's what all those white poofs or gray poofs are that you can see. And that is what I'm focusing on brushing out. Now, since this video is coming after the boys, if you've watched the boys video, you've heard me talk about the fact that I let them become a hot mess express, and it took me forever to groom them. We had to do it in 2 sessions. Here's the difference. This is the contrast video for you, okay? Mal has had her, Mal is what we call her, right? We don't call her Maleficent, we call her Mal. She has had her pre-spring brush out. She was just groomed about 4 weeks ago. With her, it was just a little too early. She still had plenty of undercoat that was still not releasing, not shedding out, and that's what you're seeing now. The difference that you're going to see is it's coming out without me requiring any pulling. There's no matting, there's no knots, it's not stuck in her hair. It's just basically coming out. And you'll see it when I switch sides, of course, a little bit more clearly, but it doesn't require the same level of effort that the boys required by letting them not have that pre-spring brushing. And that's the difference, really. Cashmere is cashmere. It's an undercoat. It comes out every year. You can't do anything about it. What you can do is not let it get matted or hung up in their coat, and keep their coat consistently brushed so that it just really slides off. So you're seeing her bad side right now. Wait till you see it turn into her good side. It's going to be gorgeous. And while I'm doing that, let's talk a little bit about Mal. Mal was born on this farm, and the minute she was born, I took one look at her and I said, well, you know what? She's my keeper for the year. Of course, part of that was because she was my first solid black goat. And that's not the reason to keep a goat. You should never keep a goat because of their coloration. Color is the last thing you should ever consider. But she had my eye because she was a black goat amongst a sea of white and brown, right? Second is her conformation. We've talked about height, we've talked about being small in stature, and how the breed is moving much more toward a smaller, more petite stature, and Mal has that in spades, right? She's still got a great top line. She's wide in the rear so that she can kid naturally. She's got perfect stance when she's not squatting all over the place. On her feet, right? Her legs are bent in the right places, straight in the right places. They come straight down from her withers through her hocks. She's just got stunning conformation, and the coat was sort of the icing on the cake. She also had good genetics. She came from a line I wanted to keep, right? She wanted to continue to expand in my herd. So there were lots of reasons that she was number 1 on my list. However, interestingly enough, a larger, more experienced, more, what's the word I'm looking for? a larger, more popular mini silky breeder who I know from years of showing with her reached out to me and wanted her. And to me, that was like the epitome of validation for my herd. Another breeder, one who I respected, one who I had purchased animals from to help my herd, one who has a larger herd and plenty of animals to choose from, one who doesn't often buy animals because of that, wanted to buy a breeding animal from me. You want to talk about proud mama moment? Well, that was it, right? I was done. I was starstruck. I absolutely could not resist allowing her to purchase this animal. And she did. And, you know, when I brought Mal to the show to deliver her, we put her in the ring, we showed her, she won a bunch of first places. She was an itty bitty baby at the time, so I've told you before, itty bitty babies don't typically take championship legs because they're competing against older animals, more mature animals. But in her class, she was taking top billing. So she showed all the right things and all the right signs and everything that I saw. And I couldn't believe I had reached a point that other breeders wanted my breeding stock. So I was just starstruck. From there, that breeder took Mal home, and I ended up keeping Misty Morning, so M names, right? It was an M year. And I talked to you about my naming nomenclature, so now you know. And since it was, I kept Misty, I didn't mind. Misty was another one of the babies that year that had caught my eye. I couldn't keep two. I told you I keep my herd small, so keeping even one is a big decision. And when Mal went to this other breeder, Misty was my next choice. I am so happy with Misty. She has been in the show ring. She has two grand champion legs. She needs one more to master champion. I mean, she's just stunning, and she's given me beautiful babies, and I have some of her daughters as well. So no complaints. However, about 2 years after I sold Mal to this breeder, the breeder did decide that she was going to, if not retire, slow down, and was going to do a herd reduction. Now, to be fair, I think that happens kind of on the regular with some of these breeders, where their herd just gets too big, so they say they're doing a herd reduction when really they just need to reduce their numbers. But I had the opportunity to buy Mal back. She didn't come back for free. In fact, she came back for more than I sold her for, and that was another frustrating point in my life. But she had never been put in the show ring. She hadn't been bred. She was just at the point to be bred, so I didn't expect her to have been bred. But she hadn't been shown, and she wasn't necessarily going to be a part of this breed the way I wanted them to be. And so I took the plunge and I bought her back. And she was in an interesting shape. She was maintained differently than I keep my goats. Not a bad way, but not the way I keep them, right? She was a little bit on the thin side. Her coat was copper instead of black because she had sun exposure and some copper deficiencies. So her coloration was off. And just in general, I was happy to have her back. The year I got her back, I did end up putting her in the show ring. She took a couple more first places, but she was just not ready to be a champion at that point, right? She was just not in the right body condition, and her coat was not in the best condition because of that discoloration. At any rate, I was happy to see that she was still getting recognition for her conformation. I was happy to see that she was still competitive. And I brought her home, and we were able to breed her. We've bred her twice since she's gotten back. She's given me 4 beautiful babies with 2 different bucks. This year she took a year off. That was her choice. And what I mean by that is she was exposed to a buck. They had a date. They actually had several dates. And she did not get pregnant, so I don't force the issue. If they don't get pregnant after a couple of exposures, essentially, 2 different heat cycles, then that's their body telling us and me that she is not at a point where she should be having babies, and so we don't force it. So she didn't have babies this year. But at the end of the day, she wasn't supposed to be here. And I had kept another animal of the same age, same year, with similar traits and had done, more showing with her. And at this point, I have generations of that line. And I've moved on with the line that she came from, and I have different generations from other, later years. So what to do with Mal, right? Do I keep her? Do I sell her? Do I, try and mix and match her a little bit? And so I tentatively put her on our available page, right? Available animals. And it just so happens, and I talked to you about where Santa Baby is going, one of my bucks. She's going to go with him and another one of my does to become somebody's new foundation herd. And that is exactly what I need from her, right? She's going to go fulfill the destiny that I think she was born to do, which is put her genes out into the world, further the creation of, again, not the right word. What is with me today? I can't speak. So she's going to further the genetics of this breed by really being a foundation animal for a brand new herd. She's doing it with one of my Master Champion bucks, Master Champion and Best in Show bucks. And she's going with a friend from her herd here, so she's not going to be in a new herd with different animals. She's going to be starting a herd with animals she knows and familiarity. It's just the perfect situation. Am I going to miss her? I am. I actually am in so many ways, right? She's a very handleable dog. She's the right size. She's absolutely stunning. I love her black coloration. Now that it's not copper colored anymore and it's back to the shiny black it should be. She's got great headdress and cheek muffs and all the things you need to be, to perform in the ring and be a shogun. And genetically contribute to the furthering of this breed. And I hesitate, right? I didn't want to put her out there, but the reality is that I need to do what I keep talking about, which is keep my numbers manageable so that I can do the things that I do with them, right? Groom them appropriately, make sure I touch every last animal every day and know their body condition, be aware and familiar with them. And if I keep her, then I have to really limit and continue to address that need by not keeping any new generations. And since I have a goat from her birth year who has had more opportunities in the ring by circumstance, right? Mal would have had plenty of opportunities in the ring if she had stayed here, who has already garnered 2 championship titles, and has the ability to finish where Mal probably won't. She will probably, similar to how I talked to you with Jezebel and Lotus, she's going to age out eventually. Certainly there are goats that at 7, 8, 9 can still champion. I don't know that Mal will be one of those, and it's a risk to assume that she would be, right, when the generational improvement is quick. Year on year on year, everybody gets better, better, better. So the older goats, to compete against those younger goats, is definitely something to think about, right? So when the opportunity came to have her be a foundation member of a brand new herd in a state that doesn't have these animals, in a location where these animals can continue to gain popularity, continue to be recognized, continue to really be brought back into this world, right? How do I say no? And I don't say no. So she will be leaving the farm again. Before I continue there, I just want you to notice how quickly, in comparison, if you've watched the boys' video, if you haven't, go back and watch it, but how quickly all that cashmere came out with very little drama. And that's the difference of a pre-spring grooming and a not pre-spring grooming. So I was diligent with my does, I was not diligent with my bucks. So I think I'm going to hold it here, the story of Mal, and let you say hello and goodbye to her because she is going to be leaving the farm after this grooming. And maybe we will see her in photos and updates and see babies from her soon. But since I know I have bad audio, and I know that you are putting up with me because you want to see and listen instead of putting up with me because it's good content, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you as always being a part of my community. I invite conversation in the comments. Leave me a like, drop me a comment, tell me what you think about Mal's story, and if you think I'm doing the right thing or not. I always love to hear opinions on that and have some discourse. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, and we will catch you at the next goat grooming. Thanks. Bye, guys.